Okay, buckle up. This is the full property tour of Sefton Place. This is one for the property nerds. You've probably clocked on the timeline already. This video is going to be about 25 minutes long, so this is a chance to really get under the skin of what we're looking at here. So this is Sefton Place. This is a whopping 10,100 square foot Victorian Manor house that we've just picked up the keys to, and we plan to convert it into a boutique Aparthotel. As you can see, it's an absolutely stunning building, and what I want to do is walk you through the whole building so you can see the potential and the scope that we're working with on this particular project. You can already see that we've also blessed with some quite extensive grounds, which is really, really exciting. Now, I thought about scripting some sort of voiceover, but I thought, you know what, you probably just want to see it through my eyes as we walk it through. So as you come into the main entrance here, you will see, well, the first thing you can see is the unbelievably high ceilings. I don't think I've seen ceilings as high as this, certainly not in any project that we've worked with previously. Most of the ground floor of this building is not currently utilized for guest accommodation. So that is one of the things that always appeals, that's our model, is that we look for guest houses, hotels, venues where they're not optimized for income, and then we convert those ancillary spaces into more lettable rooms. Now check this out, what an absolute stunning room. An original parquet, I think it's parquet, certainly wooden floor. That would cost thousands if you were to put that in these days, so we're certainly going to look to restore that. And what do you know, the owner has kindly left us, or cursed us, with a baby grand piano that we don't know what to do with. Any ideas, please do comment below. But you can see wonderful proportioned rooms. These were all kind of, I don't know, drawing room, guest rooms. The property was being used for large groups on sort of religious pilgrimages, which is why a lot of the ground floor space is not currently utilised for sleeping accommodation. So there is another, this is the blue room, what a lovely carpet. I'm looking forward to getting under these carpets, by the way, and having a look at what whether we've got any more of those wonderful original floors underneath, but we've certainly got a lot of panelling, which is great. We're going to keep that. The interior designers are going to get their teeth into this. You can see that there's a blocked up door there, which we're going to mirror on the other side of the fireplace and create some sort of shelving situation. There's a downstairs WC. Just a note on the high ceilings as well, by the way, we're probably going to have to drop them slightly, as we do with most of these projects, to create a services void, so that we can put in services for what we're hoping will be an aircon heating and cooling system. Now this is super cool. We've never had something like this before at a project, an Aparthotel that we've done at before. This is an event space, or at least it's going to become an event space. Was the grand dining hall, I guess. Pretty naff perspex roof up there that we're going to have to replace, probably with a fixed ceiling with Velux windows. Wonderful original features, fireplace, and just again look at that floor. So this is tailor-made if you know the setting down in Arundel for yoga retreats and all sorts of sort of local event hire as well. This is, or was, the commercial kitchen. Most of it has now been stripped out. Some of this will be retained as a sort of kitchen area for the event space, but some of it will be converted into an additional ground floor studio. And this is the big pot wash room and the giant freezer where they kept all the bodies. Just kidding. Lots of windows. We're blessed with windows and doors in this property, which is quite unusual. So that's a really good thing, but it will actually create a few layout challenges as well, because some of the rooms have very little wall space for us to work with, which is going to be a challenge. I'm not going to talk you through too much on the actual plans for the space at the moment. I'll do that on a separate video. This is more just a walkthrough of what we have as the blank slate, if raw material, that's the word I was looking for. This is the raw material we're working with. Now, these are probably, I don't know, the second or third smallest bedrooms, I would say. Standard doubles, decent size still, nice and bright if that door were closed. Few damp issues that need sorting out. Full wet room, accessible shower, so we'll look to retain some accessibility at this property. But yeah, once you get into the existing bedrooms, it's really just a case of ripping out new bathrooms and decorate throughout, because we're looking to come up with quite a boutique high-end finish for this property. This one is much the same. There's a bit of a theme going on here. I think you could just see some of the damp issues there under the window. So we've got a little bit of water ingress coming in various parts of the property. But do you know what? In the grand scheme of things, the full structural survey that we've had done was not overly alarming as surveys go. I've certainly seen a lot worse, which is good, because hopefully that means we can spend the money where it counts in terms of the level of finish. Little cubby hole, don't know what we're going to do with that yet. And then we're sort of into the back corner of the building now, and one of the things you learn to look for when you do enough of these service accommodation Aparthotel projects is storage. And this is a wonderful room where we can keep all of our linen. So we hire our linen, and that will be the drop-off and collection point. There is a service staircase there as well, which serves the first floor bedrooms. I'm not going to take you up that way because it will get just a little bit confusing. So we're going to walk all the way back through the event space back to the main staircase, so that to give you at least a fighting chance of keeping your bearings as we go through. So loads of scope on the ground floor to convert additional spaces into new guest suites and rooms. The vast majority of these will be self-contained and will have kitchenettes added as well. But as we go up the staircases are really solid in this property, which is great. We've got a lot of creaky floors that need some remedial work, but the staircases themselves are pretty good, as are the fire doors. Now, anyone who's ever had to fit, and I haven't even started trying to count how many fire doors there are in this property, but that would be a hell of a cost. So assuming some of these may just need a bit of a service and some beautifying, I think is the word, adding some beveling or some panelling from an aesthetic point of view. So these are some of the existing first floor bedrooms. Now, I would say all but 2, maybe 3 of the bedrooms have wonderful views. So this looks out to the side of the property, and you get an idea of some of the grounds that we're working with here, right up to where those 2 large trees are. That sort of hedge boundary is ours. We've got lots of exciting plans for that space. Standard shower rooms, for some reason they've put in really dinky shower trays when they had room to put in bigger ones. But anyway, all of that's going to get ripped out, which is a shame. Sometimes, you know, some of the tiling looks more or less brand new, but unfortunately, if you leave some existing stuff and make everything else new, it tends to stand out like a sore thumb. So this is going to be a complete strip back to basics. Some of the bedrooms have got some nice features, as you can see here. There's a bit of a fire surround, not done in the most beautiful way. I'm sure the designers can make a feature of that. And again, a lovely, peaceful, tranquil view out to the other side of the property, which is just fields and countryside as far as you can see. Again, standard really for the bathrooms. We're not going to be doing too many structural changes to this property. One of the things that really made it jump out was the fact that we're working largely within the existing configuration, and really it's just about repurposing spaces, which is great from a budget point of view, and again, hopefully it means that we can really focus on the level of finish and the decor and the design and stuff like that. So this is another fabulous view out towards the front. We've got this huge lawn area here, which we've got a few ideas, and also a car park, which is dead handy, just to the left there, out of view. We will have a quick nosy at the outside, I think, later on this tour. Good sized bedrooms, these, very good sized bedrooms, many of which will comfortably take a small kitchen or kitchenette. This is one of my favourite rooms, room number 3, has the same outlook, but it's double aspect, this one. Sorry, not double aspect technically, 2 windows. I don't think that counts as double aspect. Most of the windows, again, in great nick, PVC windows, PVC sash windows that the previous owner must have put in at some point. And again, but check out that castle view, which the video really doesn't do it justice to. Just over that white building there is Arundel Castle. Those of you that are familiar with the area will know that Arundel has a beautiful fairy tale castle. It's one of the most iconic views in the UK, and we do have castle views in some of the rooms, which is great. Slightly bigger bathroom on this one, shower over bath. Don't like a shower over bath, so that's going to become a shower almost certainly. But again, lovely, good sized room, which is great. And the other thing I think that we love about this property is it's all about the feel, isn't it? And it's lovely wide corridors. Oh, a wide corridor makes such a big difference to the look and feel. Now, this door, which says private, is the link through to the current owner's accommodation, which in itself is a 3/4 bedroom, or will be. It's bigger than that actually, but some of the rooms we're grabbing to go into the hotel. But that will be a self-contained 3/4 bedroom holiday let, and it has that service door on the first floor for cleaners to get this staff only, running linen, that sort of thing. I don't know if that counts as a view. It's certainly green. Nice green view of a tree, and again a pokey shower that will get converted. So yeah, not a huge amount to do really in the existing bedrooms other than renovate them. As I said, we're not going to be knocking walls around. We're not going to be changing sizes too much. This gives you a much closer view at, do you remember I said there was that slightly naff perspex roof on the event space? So we're looking at replacing that with a fixed roof with Velux windows. And then we weave our way round. It is a maze, this building. It is a bit of a labyrinth of sort of corridors. Good signage is going to be absolutely crucial when we come to launch. Some rather Swedish, Scandinavian panelling going on in this room, but again, I think restoring that, painting it so that it's not quite so much pine, I think will be a nice feature. And yeah, they certainly have a theme going on with the bathrooms. Lots of random doors that are no longer doors and cubby holes and spaces. I mean, that one opens to a corridor, so I can't see how it was ever a room. But having said that, it's got quite a complex history, this building, including it was for a long period of time in its life a youth hostel. So it was subdivided a lot more than it is now. I like this room. It's smaller than some. Again, nice view of a tree. But look at this lovely original Victorian fireplace. Not quite sure what they were thinking when they painted the fireplace around. I'd much prefer to pick out some of the darker green there, but I'm sure the designers will make something of that. And for some reason, this particular bathroom qualified for this particular bedroom qualified for a much larger bathroom. Panelled bathroom, which I'm sure we can restore, and again, lovely, peaceful, tranquil views. It's so quiet, this spot. We do have a neighbour. Other than that, it's a beautiful, peaceful location, perfect for what we've got in mind in terms of yoga retreats, people visiting the South Downs, and Arundel itself is, what do they call it, the Vatican of the South Coast, the Vatican of the South of England, because of its incredible cathedral and the castle itself. This room's got a totally different feel, much more of a loft feeling to this room, with an exposed roof truss there, and a cubby hole that we haven't been able to get into yet. Looks like there's some roof space back there, which will be interesting. And God, who doesn't love carpet in the bathroom? Come on, carpet in the bathroom. At least we haven't got avocado bathroom suites in this one, which is slightly disappointing. I do like an avocado bathroom suite. Just kidding. They're always the first things to go. Yeah, not much of a view from this one. One of the few bedrooms that doesn't have a fantastic view, but a nice cosy space nonetheless. And on it goes. So as we look down to the right-hand side here, that is the service staircase that I mentioned outside the linen room. So we've worked our way all the way around to the beginning. This is the only room, poor little room 9, that is a little compromised for size. Not sure what's going on with those blocked windows at the moment. I need to get my screwdriver in there and have a look at why they are blocked. I wonder if there's some sort of neighbour dispute going on there. But this room does not comfortably take a double bed. And it will come down to whether we think we can squeeze one in without taking the mick, or whether or not this is actually a single room, which is no bad thing. It's quite useful to have, as we know from experience operating properties like this. It's useful to have different price points, different offerings. So if we have some room only and even some single rooms, then that would be absolutely fine. There's that service staircase, again, taking you down to the linen room. Okay, so we are going to, again, not use the service staircase. We're going to work our way back in reverse, all the way back to the beginning, and I want to show you what in some ways is this property's pièce de résistance, which is the fact that it comes with an entire 4-bedroom house. We've renovated large 4-bedroom houses in the past and thought that was a pretty big project. This is just a side piece to this property. So again, you get an impression as you come down of the height of the ceilings and the scale of some of these rooms. We will lose some of that for service voids, but I think the grand proportions will remain. Out onto this beautiful front terrace. Also, they do like their perspex roofs. That's going to need to change. Again, drop a note in the comments if you've got any ideas about how we can cover that lovely terrace, whilst hopefully not losing too much light, but something that looks a little bit classier. We've got a lovely little orchard space. I'm going to do a separate video on the outside space and go through the grounds. We've got an acre of grounds to make the most of, and they are stunning. This is the owner's accommodation. A large house in itself. So our plot goes right up to, you see where those gateposts are, that's our neighbours, but this is currently the owner's accommodation. And again, this is one of the things we look for when we are shopping for potential Aparthotel projects. We are looking for sites, venues, buildings where the owners live on site, so that we run everything remotely with our amazing team, and we will be converting those ancillary spaces and owners accommodation into more guest accommodation, and that's how we get the commercial value that we need at the back end. Anyway, this room here is going to become part of the hotel. That's a lovely door, isn't it? Look at that. I wonder what that leads to. Must be something quite dramatic. No, it's a cupboard, and it will stay as a cupboard because it was once an adjoining door, but we won't be connecting that. Look at the size of that fireplace as well. I need your ideas and inspiration. What are we going to do with some of this stuff? It's hard to describe how deep that fireplace is, and also we have exposed a basement that I haven't been down yet. I'm not going to do that in this video. I need someone to open the hatch for me. Again, beautiful views out over the gardens. But as I said, this will become a self-contained unit that will be blocked off, the doorway I've just walked through. And this is all part of the sort of ground floor corridor that will belong to what will become the holiday let. Again, it has a service door. I think we're actually going to block this one up. I don't think we need a service door on the ground and the first floor. And we've also got a downstairs WC, but we're going to lose that to become and I told you I wasn't going to talk about my plans, wasn't I? I've got carried away. I am going to do a full video on the plans. So you've got this kind of, I don't know what you'd call this. I don't know. I don't know what they used it for. I think there were bikes in here and stuff, but a living space connected divided via a stud wall to another living space that they were using as a little bit of an office. Partitioned off, no window in this space. So we are thinking about what to do with that one. And then through to a very generous open plan kitchen diner. There's the boy doing his cooking. Talk about investing with your family. Poor young man, has been down here now for the best part of a week, sleeping on a mattress on the floor, mucking in, and cooking his high-protein meals on a bit of a makeshift kitchen. We have been camping out here. We're sharing the kitchen with the odd little mouse and grasshopper, but no, we're having a good time, and it's useful to be able to get under the skin of the place. Anyway, and I mean, look at that. An exhausted puppy who usually follows me around on these tours, but obviously he's had more than enough walk for today. This is the engine room, quite literally, for the whole hotel. Look at that absolute beast. That is a huge oil-fired boiler. Don't ask me what most of this stuff does. We're hoping to do away with the vast majority of it and switch over to an aircon heating and cooling system. Yeah, this is, I guess, the plant room that serves the entire building. Oh, he's woken up. Look, there he is. That's our sofa, by the way. We're living pretty simple while we're down here. A little mattress on the floor is our sofa. But yeah, beautiful kitchen area, brand new kitchen will go in there, lovely log burner. It's a really big space actually, so this is going to be a fabulous holiday let for families, groups, friends, I guess that sort of thing. Upstairs we go. Lovely bright area. Oh, Basil's coming with me this time, that's nice. And lovely views again. Look at that, stunning views out across the South Downs. You can see quickly there the sort of sectioned off picket fence garden that belongs to the owner's accommodation, and we will probably retain that as a garden for the holiday. This is where we're camping out. Myself and Caroline have parked ourselves in this room, and it's got a decent size ensuite. Again, this room will actually be blocked off from the house and will be linked to the hotel. We think behind that wardrobe somewhere there's going to be a doorway through, and again, beautiful views, and I can testify to the bird song and the peace and quiet in the mornings is quite something to behold. So working our way round the landing, that's that connecting door, the private one that I showed you earlier, just so as you get your bearings. And then we have, it's still going, guys, it's still going. We have two very good size king double bedrooms. A bit of damp issue on that. I think that's probably a guttering issue actually, but that needs a little bit of investigation. We have got a decent-ish size family bathroom, certainly big enough to hold a shower, what you'd expect, toilet and sink, and a large corner bath. Who doesn't love a corner bath? Just kidding again, that's going to go. And here's the second bedroom, the blue room. You've heard of the green room, this is the blue room. Very creaky floor on this one, but great proportioned rooms again, and very bright, and all with a beautiful aspect. It has a third bedroom as well, slightly smaller, although the vast array of wardrobes that they've crammed in that you can see here not only are very dark and imposing, but they actually make the room feel a lot smaller than it is, so we can go back a fair distance behind those wardrobes. But again, a decent sized double room. So this is a house, we are not, carving up spaces here. This is a house in its own right. Now, this is a very non-compliant staircase. If you want to see what a non-compliant loft conversion looks like, this is what it looks like. They have got partway through converting this, and I can assure you it's not compliant. So we are mulling over what to do with this particular space, because to continue with the conversion may involve stripping back everything they've already done, because we don't know what they've done, and it may hide some horrors. That staircase in particular is going to need some problem solving. I think what they were planning in this section of loft space, if you can let me just get the door out of the way, is an ensuite. You'd have to be pretty short, I think, to have a shower in there, but who knows? This is one for the builders, because there is a vast roof area that could potentially still be exploited. But this is going to be a cost versus benefit exercise as to whether it's worth pursuing. It'd be a shame to lose what is essentially already a bedroom, but we need to look at, you can probably get a feel for how steep this staircase is as I'm coming down it, and if you look at that nub in the wall there, I wouldn't want to trip and fall down and hit my head on that. So that is one of the reasons why that is not a compliant staircase. So I'm sure you will agree, huge scope, a lot of work to do, a lot of updating, a lot of modernising, a lot of repurposing of spaces. That's it, you say goodbye, Basil. But an enormous amount of potential, and that is what is getting us really excited about this project. along with the flexibility that we've got to make something of these absolutely fabulous grounds. So please do like and subscribe to this channel for further updates. We're going to be bringing you this as it happens, warts and all, the whole project. Also, don't forget to follow us over on Instagram at Secret Service Podcast, and don't forget to tune into the podcast itself wherever you get your podcast fix, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, at Secret Service Podcast. See you soon.